Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation homebrew news and much, much more. So, just over the last week or so, there has been all kinds of significant developments in the PlayStation 5 and even some in the PlayStation 4 scene. And so, in today's video, I want to discuss those with each and every one of you. Don't forget to please like the video and comment below because it helps me greatly in the algorithm. So we'll start off with this tweet by Flats, which was finally hello PS5 PSP. So this is referring to the access that he had gained into the AMD's platform security processor. And you can think of the PSP as the root of the trust. So all of the other security mechanisms below it, the root is at the very top of that chain of trust, which is extremely significant for the PlayStation 5 because what that means is that more than likely, homebrew is not too far away. And Flats has openly said that he will help get fake packages or FPKGs working on the PlayStation 5, just like he did for the PlayStation 4. He obviously won't be disclosing this method anytime soon, but for all of us, especially end users, it really doesn't matter. As long as at least we're given that opportunity to run fake packages on the PlayStation 5, then we are absolutely set. So I do have a full video where I walk through all of the frequently asked questions that I've seen. In case you want to check this out, it's only about a 7-minute video, and yeah, I discuss a lot of different things that we really don't have time for here, such as, what about a disc-based PS4 game save? Why didn't they look at maybe using Okage like we have right now for Master Course? So check that out if you would like to. And then there was another bombshell release over here by Illusion, and that was Gravity Rush 2 unofficially running in 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5. And so here is what that looks like because this is Illusion's video and it is running again at the 60 frames per second. But the other thing to note here is that this is actually a PlayStation 4 game. I know a lot of people, when they first saw this, they were thinking, oh, okay, this is a native PlayStation 5 game. It is not. It's a PS4 game that's running inside of a PlayStation 5, but it's absolutely significant because this is being modified to run again at the 60 frames per second. And in case you aren't familiar with Illusion, Illusion makes all kinds of game patches for a number of different games. Even browsing his GitHub repo, I found there were some Windows games that was also in there too. And if you are using like the Goldhen Cheat Manager and especially some of the PS4 patches, 99% sure they're going to be some work that Illusion did. Now, he did give some insight on how he was able to pull that off, and he said, thanks to his work, and this is a GitHub repo by Andrew Streleski. Hopefully I pronounced that properly, but he says, it is now possible to edit memory, run payloads externally without relying on WebKit, BDJB exploit past the initial run. And he says only 4.xx for now. And then there was some information here that note the PSN features in offline account activation doesn't work yet. Now, I did look at some other tweets, and this is already working now for 3.x. So if you have a 3.x or a 4.x system that is a PlayStation 5, then you will be in good shape. Let's go ahead and check out the screenshots. So as you can see right up here, it does have the frame rate. This is PlayStation 5, and there is the resolution. And you can see there is some build version information right here. Again, this is the actual disc itself. And then we have the dev menu, which again, we've already had this dev menu on the PlayStation 4 before, but now it's been activated on a PlayStation 5, again, running at that 60 frames per second. So if you go over to the repo here, then you will see right here is where there's been some movements in Andrew's libhijacker repo. And these are all being pushed to this work in progress branch instead of a master branch. And so in the work in progress, Here is the last couple of updates. So you can see that this is very alive and this is very much coming from some of the work that Illusion made, as on July the 30th, he merged in a pull request that Illusion created. And the reason that a lot of this work is very substantial is because now we'll start to see this trickling out into other homebrew that we've already got, such as the one by Sistro, which is the FTP S5. This is obviously the FTP server for the PlayStation 5 that just uses WebKit, so it's absolutely available to everyone. There isn't any sort of disk-based or BDJB requirement. So over in the repo here, we can scroll down and we can see that there has been a section added here for custom commands. So mount read write, so it can remount the /system and the system EX partitions with read write access. Before, we were not able to do that sort of a thing. And then since I just spoke on MasterCore, I thought it'd be worth a quick update on MasterCore. So MasterCore has added the PS5 4.03 firmware support. So it says direct syscall support has been added for multiple PS5 firmware versions, which are listed right here. But then going down into the conversation here, Macaulay called out, does this mean we can run the game loader on PS5 7.x? And it says potentially, although the code does not support it currently, there is an issue with the ELF loader, which is likely due to memory layout changes. Certain functions like dialogues also would not work, so would be hidden. And then in other words, how useful is this for the PS5 7.60? And it says it allows you to call system calls, opening sockets, opening files, directories, reading, writing files, and then a few more things. And to answer this question, no, there is no fake packages or cheats that is coming out of MasterCore right now. Now, I did ask in here that I didn't quite understand the PS5 4.03 support, because basically my thoughts was that you would have to go ahead and install Oakage through the PlayStation Network when 4.03 was the latest firmware. So I got a couple of great responses here. I'll just read the run from Macaulay. He says, yes, like others have said, it could be useful in the future for him. It could also be useful if another PS2 disc game is exploited, then the SDK is already set up. So if you had that question like I did, then hopefully now you've got an answer. So looking over at the repo PlayStation 4, we can see that most of these offsets have moved out into this different file. And then for the 10.50 and 10.70, those both share the same exact offsets, and I'm happy to say that I was actually one of the very first people to test that and to confirm that. And then for the PlayStation 5, we can see here is where 4.03 was added. There was also an else if you were running on anything between 6.50 and 7.60. So anyway, it's always nice to see more progress happening for MasterCore. I definitely think of that as a bit of a backup. If some of the other things don't work, I'd love to always have that option. Then in some more PlayStation 4 news, we can see that Lappy released Icon Mask version 1.11. So there is 4 new masks that was added into this. Obviously, this is available only for the PlayStation 4. Here are the brand new designs, and always hats off to Lappy for making this so much better each and every release, as well as to the designer here, which is Anubis QZ. There was also a PlayStation 5 beta that rolled out right here on the 31st. There was a couple of things that I saw in here that definitely are worth talking about. And funny enough, they're at the very bottom of this blog post, was the actual support for larger capacity M.2 SSDs. So now they can have a maximum capacity of 8 terabytes. So previously it was 4 terabytes. There was also support for compatible Dolby Atmos enabled audio devices. I'm definitely not sure why this has taken so long to have support for Dolby Atmos, as that is one of the huge standards, but it does seem like now, at least in this beta, you will get access to that. And then there was an ability to mute the PS5 beep sound. Obviously, they are playing a bit of catch up because with the latest Xbox, you could already do this. Now, I always wonder how this will work with diagnostics because that's usually how I help troubleshoot my own systems and other systems that I'm working on, but maybe there will be some other way to reset it. That we'll know more about once this is actually out for the public consumption. And then if you do want to get access to these betas, there is a sign up program which I will link to here. So I've went ahead and I've signed in on my own account. And so once you sign in, you can just click this register now button and it brings you down to the bottom of the page here. You might want to read that and then just put a check mark there in I agree and click submit. And it just says thanks for registering. Now, most all of my accounts are not generating beta codes anymore, but it's definitely worth going ahead and signing up for the beta because you can then give those codes to other people that's in the scene that wants to install the beta for research purposes. So definitely do that. And if you get a code, don't just blast it on Twitter. Just hold on to it because there's probably somebody that needs it. And then just to wrap things up here for the PlayStation 4, there is a version 11, beta 2.00 that has been released. Again, you kind of get into these betas by filling out these forms that we just talked about just a second ago. Now, what you see here, these updates that have been posted, you can't actually apply these PS4 update.pup files, mainly because it is assigned to your user account. So if you get those files, you can't actually install the beta unless it gets authorized by Sony. Otherwise, I would have done that a long time ago. So anyway, I hope all of this information is helpful to you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next one. Michael, out!